everyone, and welcome to episode, is this 41? I marked it as 42, I think.
41.
Episode 41 of Gamestack podcast. I'm Shaline, and joining me this fine evening is Vendertron from a sunny tropical beach somewhere. Hello,
Well,
Vendertron.
I like to think so. Welcome, sir or madam.
I had no idea Canada looked like that with palm trees and
Oh yeah, it's very
shimmering
nice up here.
sands.
There's no fires and snow at the same time. No, nothing.
Also here this evening is Rick McVick. How are you doing, Rick?
I am doing swell now that I'm here with all of you.
I see a distinct lack of beach in your background.
Because it's in the foreground.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. You can just look at me.
I love the sunglasses.
Yeah, guys, it's been a week. Look what I can do.
Yay, you have full range of motion. For the audio folks, Vendor is just turning his head from side to side.
So last Friday, before that followed show, I went to the gym and I rode. And on my first set of 1,000 meters, I rode at like the setting of like 10 on the rowing machine, which is like not a good idea. And I didn't realize that until after this first set. So I changed it back down to halfway. But when I woke up the next day, I was literally crippled. I could not move my head. Laying down was like even terrible. So anyways, here we are. I can shoulder check again. So.
I was wait, shoulder check, is that
What?
What's shoulder check?
Oh my God. Tell me you drive and shoulder check.
What?
What?
Oh, see, I thought it was like when you see something happening like to the right or left going down, you're like, what?
Well, normally when you drive, Rick, the safe thing to do before changing lanes would be to check to see if anyone's there and not rely solely on your mirrors. But
Oh,
I don't know
no.
how you've been taught.
Only Maryland and Virginia drivers rely solely on mirrors. Actually, I saw some lady the other day whose mirrors were folded completely in.
I mean,
Somebody
who
had-
uses the mirrors? I mean,
Yeah. Somebody posted
those are
on
for
the
checking your makeup, right?
somebody posted on the Edmonton Reddit. They had elastic banded like a makeup mirror to their side view mirror because it had broken. Yeah, that would be Shaline.
And I
That-
thought that
The Tetris makeup kit would just be, you'd cut out the mirror part
Yes,
of the
that would be
top
so
of the
great.
lid and just, yeah.
Do you want to talk about Tetris makeup for a minute? No, I'll
Sure,
take that
yeah.
as a no.
Tell us all about the
I got
makeup.
this
I seen
huge
you had
set of
posted
Tetris
a lovely
makeup.
picture.
Because
Wow.
because Tetris makeup. I mean, I love Tetris. I love makeup. When I found out there was Tetris makeup, of course I had to get it. So it came with brushes and eyeshadow and lipsticks and stuff, and it's been a lot of fun playing with that. So we'll probably do a full review on Dames with Game in the future. So
Interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean it obviously looks like quality makeup.
Yeah, I'm wearing
since
it now.
You posted a wonderful picture of yourself earlier today. And yeah, it's nice. Man, you're really collecting all the sets, aren't you? You got Game of Thrones now, you've got Tetris. What's next?
I don't know. I need to stop spending money and be a responsible
Yeah,
adult.
you need to stop spending money and save it for E3 next year when we all go, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dead Space makeup kit.
That's face makeup kit.
Yeah, Outer
Yeah.
Worlds.
Yeah.
Outer Worlds.
So
I
that
blush.
would be not the best. Dead Space makeup.
It's like,
Did I say I blush? Is that a thing?
I blush.
It's not a thing.
Wow.
It's like,
okay.
yeah. That's not a thing.
Yeah, so expect a full review of Tetris makeup on Dames Who Game in the future.
Ooh.
So, Rick, how are you doing? How you been?
Good. You've asked me this.
I did?
But it's okay.
Yeah, but you didn't give us
I'm
the
so
deets.
tired.
How's your
The
week been?
deets.
Yeah.
It's just been a nonstop week. I haven't really had a break. A couple hours here and there. Thursday is technically my only day off, and I played some games. But like, you know how it is in the middle of a very busy week. Even if you have like a day off in the middle of it, you just can't kind of relax because you're busy contemplating the rest that's coming. Was
Yeah.
kind of my Thursday. So I'll be able to play some games tonight, kind of. But it's just been really busy, and I cannot wait for June to be over.
Yeah, busy man.
So-
Busy's one of those things where it's like when you're busy, it's good because it keeps you busy.
This
But
is
when
too
you're
busy.
bored or when you're not busy, you're bored or you're just tired because you've been so busy for so long that you're exhausted and burnt out. That
Yeah,
being
this is
busy.
just too busy though. It's too busy. That's
comes
all.
in strides, I guess, in your line of business, anyways.
I'm trying to consolidate it a little bit. Hopefully, in the next like month or two, I will only have one job. That's not my self-employed music studio thingy. So, I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to everybody in our chat room, and happy Friday to everyone. Welcome to the best little corner of the internet at 6:30 on a Friday evening. Yeah, it is,
like
Rick.
No, it is. I just feel like I can't get out of this intro. I feel like we've just gone around 3 different times welcoming everyone.
We did.
So, Shaline, how are you?
Oh, me? I'm terrible. Yeah, it's been a real hard week. I'm exhausted. I only have a passing acquaintance with Sleep lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sleep, who's that? Don't know her. So, it's been tough, but I am really happy with how my makeup turned out today, and I got a raise at work. So, those are some good things. So, and I'm here with my friends, hanging out. We're going to talk about video games. It's going to be amazing. And speaking of amazing, this weekend we are going to record a thing. Vendertron, do you want to tell the people about the thing?
Oh, guys, I'm so excited. On Sunday, although it's kind of going to be behind the curtain, you'll hear about it after it's already recorded and done, but we will be interviewing Andrew Leatherbarrow, who is the book author of Chernobyl 01-2340. He published his book in 2016, and it actually had a hand in, and he had a hand in writing the script for the HBO's historical drama series Chernobyl. And his book is now a #1 bestseller on Amazon. And we wanted to do an IRL segment on nuclear disasters because Fallout. So we have the privilege of having him on the show this coming Sunday. We'll be interviewing him, and then we'll be posting the show shortly thereafter. So keep an ear out for that.
A fabulous special episode.
Yeah.
And
very excited.
Speaking of fabulous special people, why don't you introduce us to the new Discord members for the past week?
Yeah. So, I mean, okay. So the Discord is like, it's crazy. It's crazy busy. We are averaging at least 150 different messages in various channels per day. We have at least 2 new people coming into the server every single day. If you want to get onto the Discord, all you got to do is scroll down to the Twitch page. If you're listening live right now, there's a little box that says Discord. Click on that. It'll bring you right into the Discord server. Or you can find the link on our Twitch page and on other social platforms of social media. You can also send us a personal message, and we'll make sure you get the invite as well. But we would like to send out a warm and special welcome to Semperfi 60.
That would be Semper Fi.
Semper Fi. Thank you, Shaline. B to then, or B to the N, B to the N. Yeah, that must be it. What does that stand for? Ivy, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Greg Ghost or Greg Host 29.
Is it Greg Host or Grey Ghost?
Grey Ghost. See, this is why they make me do the names.
This
is why they make me do the names, guys.
Grey Ghost.
Also, FPG Micah, welcome to the Discord server. Benjamin, Hell on 2 Wheels, and Aldrich 72. Welcome, guys. Don't forget, Discord is our chat after dark, and it's been quite busy this week. So be sure you tune in to all the channels there. What were you gonna say, Rick?
I was just looking at the Discord, and I want to point out, if there's any Discord interns listening, that yesterday there were 2 updates that I had to Discord, and I've got another one today. Stop. Just
what?
Stop updating Discord.
Rick, I'm so sorry that they're making your chat platform better.
No,
I mean, how dare they?
How many times a day?
At least one more.
Let's push an update. Let's push
Speaking of things that are new,
just do it all at once.
Let's cover the news.
Once a month. It's stupid, is all I'm saying.
Man, you got cut. You got cut hard.
I'm gonna have to like mute your audio. I feel like the Oscars, at the
You just wanna
Oscars,
go on a rant
speech,
here.
like,
Speech
I
time
need
is
to
up,
send
Rick.
out the long hooked cane to just pull you off the stage there.
Oh man.
Let's talk about some of this news. Most of it is E3 news. So Gears 5, gosh, all of these websites just want to give me notifications. I don't want to have notifications. Can we not do that? Gears 5 is set to not have loot boxes or season passes, and they have stated that all of the post-launch maps will be free, which I think is a really great thing. Map content that is for purchase really fragments the player base. You know, it makes it hard to find a match when you have those. It's much better for everyone to have access to all the content. It's better for the community. So I am surprised that they're saying no microtransaction or no loot box. They didn't say no microtransactions. Hang on, let's read more into this. Go ahead, Rick.
What they really mean to say is they have no surprise mechanics in their games.
Surprise mechanics, as
It's-
in.
We're getting to it.
We'll
but
get
Oh,
there.
Gears.
We'll get there.
Gears? Okay.
No season packs and no gear packs, and all post-launch maps will be free. I'm sorry, guys.
I love dead air.
I'm sorry. I was reading the chat.
That is great. Let's just all be quiet. For a
Well,
minute.
okay, so let's just rewind a little bit back to E3. You remember that thing that happened in early June, E3, when nobody talked about loot boxes? Yeah, the repercussions of this bill or whatever is going through Congress sounds to me like it is taking effect. Because nobody talked about it at E3, and suddenly companies like developers making Gears 5 are like, loot boxes are not going to be a thing. So I hope that this is the advent of a different type of, gambling. What else do you call it? Oh, man. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think this is this is the cocaine of the 20s version of games right now, where it's like everyone's nose deep in loot boxes, and the government's now like, maybe it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
And everyone kind of goes, huh? Yeah, I mean, because heck, it was in Coke, and in loot boxes, this version of gambling is in mobile games for kids.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think it's something that has to be addressed. I don't think we've discussed this at length in the past, but I after we get past Gears, I don't know if we're past Gears, but once we get to the EA thing, this is the version of what EA is trying to say is it's not heroin, it's pain medication. Is essentially
Yeah.
a lot of drug references.
So what they're saying here is that Gears 5 will have a tour of duty feature, and that will be a seasonal format that gives you daily challenges and medals to earn, and that unlocks your character customization items, such as
cool.
character skins and weapon skins.
Mhm.
Because Gears, I believe in Gears 3, that was one of the earlier shooters that started putting in a lot of weapon skins. I remember sawing up enemies with a rainbow-colored splicer, with a rainbow-colored lancer. Yeah. Back in the day, me and my friend Katie just running everywhere with unicorn lancers.
So there will still be cosmetic microtransactions then
Is that what it says?
for Gears 5, I believe. Yes. So post launch, they're saying that there will still be cosmetic microtransactions,
Okay.
but there will
I
be
didn't see that in here.
Yeah, there will be no randomized loot boxes and no RNG.
Ah, there it is, cosmetic microtransactions.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's fine.
To quote the coalition, they said, "We felt it was important to let you know how we're handling in-game content now rather than until we talk about those features." So, or rather than waiting until we talk about those features. So that's good on them. I like that they're kind of, I feel like they're setting the pace. Sort of setting the pace. I don't know. I like Bethesda's kind of done that as well.
the thing is like this is one of those times where a game company does something that games used to do that was normal, and they're going to be praised as
Yeah.
doing something revolutionary, and a lot of us are going to be like, but they did that before. Never
It's a
mind.
thing. It's a thing. It already happened.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's tons of games that just do cosmetics only, and it's fine, and it works out because that way they can make more content for free.
Mhm.
So, it's just there are some people who are really hanging on to that, like,
Loot
random-
box
Speaking of
thing?
people who hang on to loot boxes.
No, they're not loot boxes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Surprise mechanics.
Thank you.
Ethical surprise mechanics. EA is at it again, boys. They're at it again. And this. Oh man, they did this like meme tweet today. The EA Twitter account, like a Keanu meme tweet, and
No, you're
entire-
breathtaking, Shaline.
It was amazing. It was just the entire string of comments on that tweet were just like, oh, ethical surprise mechanics. And later on, the EA Twitter account replied to that tweet like, well, this didn't go well. Oh, it was so funny that they just acknowledged like how poorly they're being received right now.
Yeah, they are taking a lot of fire, aren't they?
They are taking a lot of
Good.
fire. And Vendor, why don't you tell us a little bit about what they said today?
Yeah, so they basically what happened was that they got a lot of pushback against Battlefront 2 loot boxes, and there was they got a lot of scrutiny behind even from things like different governmental organizations and stuff like that. So I think that's what brought a lot of the loot box legal issues sort of to the forefront. But the this article here that we're looking at from PC Games talks about Carrie Hopkins, who's the EA VP of Legal and Government Affairs, said that the company's randomized purchases aren't loot boxes, but rather surprise mechanics. This was revealed in an oral evidence session with the UK Parliament's Digital, Cultural and Media and Sport Committee. So she compares these surprise mechanics to surprise toys, which have been around for years, whether it's Kinder Eggs or what do they call them? Tamagotchis? Or like surprise things? I don't know.
I don't think you're thinking of Tamagotchis.
I didn't live through the Tamagotchi
Yeah.
phase. I was an accountant, so isn't that how it goes? I missed the 60s. I was an accountant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This-
So go ahead, Shaline.
They were testifying before Parliament, and it's disastrous. You know, it was such a disaster.
Yeah.
I can't wait for like if they win this case that there's surprise mechanics or whatever. I can't wait for other things that are gonna take the same verbiage. And it's like, well, see, euthanasia is just a surprise mechanic. It's quite ethical, really.
Yeah.
Which like how things are gonna get like so murder. Like someone asked in there, it says, "What's an unethical surprise mechanic?" And I said, "Murder."
Well, I mean, if you're interested in understanding everything that went on in the hearing, we will post, or we can post, the link to the Parliament broadcast that was published also in this article by PC Gamer, and it covers the full comments of what kind of transpired in that. But yeah, I don't know, loot boxes, man. Buy them, don't buy them. Everybody's like, but what about the children? Somebody please think of the children.
Yeah, buy them, don't buy them.
So speaking of buying things, I do a lot of my shopping at Amazon.
Well,
I love
Your
Amazon.
segue, Shaline, also could have been speaking of children, because Amazon and child labor.
I was okay. Yeah.
Amazon Game Studios is a thing that exists. Not a thing I think about very often. But it is a thing that exists, and they have been suffering many layoffs and game cancellations. So things are not going well for Amazon Game Studios. According to a report from Kotaku, the company canceled multiple unannounced games and told dozens of employees that they have 2 months to either secure new positions at Amazon or be let go with severance. So
I wonder what kind of games they had in development that they had to cancel.
I can't imagine what kind of games Amazon is
Because
making. I really
the
can't.
only game that I'm aware of that Amazon has developed is the Stranger Things mobile game. Yeah,
That was Amazon?
that was Amazon.
Huh.
Really?
No, that was Netflix.
No.
Yeah.
Was that Netflix?
It wasn't
Netflix.
Amazon.
Yeah, I stand corrected. Never mind.
So there you go. They haven't done anything.
So they've done nothing at all.
Who knew that a shipping and receiving of goods company was going to be terrible at making games?
Well, the thing is there's a lot of money in the gaming industry. I think that Amazon wanted a piece of that, right? And they weren't prepared. And you're right, they didn't know how to do it.
I guess they do
And
movies.
in part, I think it comes from owning Twitch as well. So
Yes. Yeah, you're definitely right on
Yeah.
that. So yeah, they own Twitch now. That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
why it's so bad. I mean, what?
Hey,
We don't depend on this platform.
they are
Not
working
at all.
on an MMO called New World, which had a closed alpha, and they've gone back to the drawing board a bit with that. They are prioritizing development on that game, so maybe they just wanted to channel some more resources into this MMO.
can I say I really like the name of it, though?
Which is what?
New World.
Oh, yeah.
It's short and sweet. I like
Yeah.
it. Very Atari.
Mm-hmm.
Not New World, A Legend is Born and the Star is Risen, Legend Part 2,
Earth Defense Force 19,
You
The
guys,
Legend of the Topsoil.
You guys are ridiculous.
Earth Defense Force, Battle with Kethup.
But I would like to point out, though, Amazon would do good investing in online cannabis retail. Just saying.
Make an online Marvelous Miss Maisel.
And if anybody's interested in investing, Aurora Cannabis has an invested interest in Amazon partnership. So
Are you high right now,
just
vendor?
You should just buy some shares.
Shaline, is our Johnny on weed?
No, I don't endorse the use of cannabis, just the investment into it. So But
yeah.
I don't know.
Is
Amazon.
that the devil's lettuce that we saw in your backpack today?
Satan's foliage.
That's too bad. I wonder what kind of games would have come out of Amazon. I bet you they would have been
Pack and
pretty
ship it.
decent. Pack and ship it, yeah.
Well, we may not know what games Amazon started to make and then canceled, but we do know what games were announced at E3. And we've got an article here of some of the most popular trailers from E3. Rick, why don't you take us through some of these trailers?
I will as soon as I open the link up. So, our most viewed trailers. All right, let's start with most hated because that's fun.
Okay.
All right, the most hated. What do you are you guys looking at the article?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'll open it to the chat room. Chat room, let us know what you think was the most hated trailer at E3, and I'll start at the bottom of the least hated. The least hated trailer was Wasteland 3, which kind of makes sense. A lot of people really like that game. So it makes sense that it was not hated too much. Another trailer that surprises me that wasn't as hated as much as some was the Commander Keen official announced trailer, which had
Hey, how about that,
points
hey?
per view. And then following that was the Fallout 76 Wastelanders gameplay trailer, which was 0.007 likes per view. Everyone in the chat saying the cartoon one from Bethesda. No, that was not the most hated one. Which is
It was
very
almost
strange.
the most hated one, though.
I think among
it wasn't.
Bethesda, among Bethesda fans, it might have been.
Are you looking at the same?
Yeah, the top one is the most hated.
No, the top one's the most liked.
How? It
Most
has the
viewed.
most dislikes
The
per
top
view.
one is most viewed,
Most
Yes,
dislikes
I'm looking
per
at the
view.
hated ones here.
and then the bottom one is most hated trailers.
Yeah, I started with most hated.
Yeah. Commander Keen's number 2.
Oh, I'm looking at the Commander Keen official E3 announce trailer. That's weird. The gameplay trailer is really hated. But the announce... Wait a minute. I'm confused now. Because the official announce trailer has 006 dislikes per view. And the Commander Keen gameplay trailer has 0.045 dislikes per view.
Well, anyways, it is second from the bottom. Commander
I'm
Keen is the second most hated trailer
Only
at
the
E3
gameplay,
2019.
though. Apparently people like
So-
it as just a cartoon.
Yeah.
But anyway, the top hated trailer of all time was Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield gameplay, for some weird reason.
That
I'm really
seems
surprised that Nuclear
strange.
Winter is way down at the bottom. I thought it wasn't too
No.
bad.
This chart is like
Misleading.
flawed, I think.
Thank you.
Well, they have the fourth most amount of dislikes out of the most
Because
hated trailers. That's the way I-
0.053 dislikes per view is not very many.
yeah, but how many views did it get?
So half of the people that view it, really? No,
I
5.3%.
call shenanigans on this whole article. What are you thinking?
We're done.
Game
This
debate?
segment is
Next. This is what happens when Joseph Tao
Okay,
doesn't
well
do the news.
we could do this the most viewed. So the most viewed trailer at E3 was the Cyberpunk 2077 cinematic trailer with over 21 million views, followed by Marvel's Avengers, and then the Jedi Fallen Order, then sequel to The Legend of Zelda. Please tell me that's not the actual name of this.
Well, I'm
Sequel to
sure
The
it's
Legend-
not.
Sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Please tell me that's not the actual name.
Surely not.
I hope not, because then, oh boy.
Did
and
you
then
see Zelda has short hair? She cut her hair.
I like short hair. That's okay.
It's cute.
The
It's a
least
real cute
viewed
bob.
trailer on this was Final Fantasy VII Remake. This was a silly article.
Yeah, I called shenanigans on
Sorry,
this article.
guys.
Let's
I'm
move on.
sorry.
Moving on.
Vendertron, why don't you tell us about this feature from Cyberpunk?
Guys, how many of you in the chat and listening and also doing the podcast, 2 out of 3 of us, actually probably 3 out of 3 of us, liked Cyberpunk? Yeah?
Yes.
You guys like Cyberpunk,
I am
right?
hyped for Cyberpunk.
Keanu.
Okay,
If it
well, I
wasn't
have...
90 degrees, I'd be wearing my Cyberpunk jacket right now.
Yeah, and you know what? It's also Pride Month, and we recognize diversity and appreciate all that is in the world. And we also want to acknowledge that Cyberpunk 2077's character creator will include non-binary gender options, which is super exciting. I
That's
think
pretty
that's
cool.
really cool. So how do you guys feel about that?
I think that's absolutely a great thing. There are not enough. There are not enough video game characters that represent non-binary people. I
Yeah.
played an indie game at E3 called Knife Sisters that featured a non-binary protagonist, and that's the
Mhm.
first instance I can remember of playing a game with a non-binary protagonist. So I
Yeah,
think that's
yeah.
a great thing. It's important that you can see yourself reflected in the media that you consume, and
Yeah.
non-binary people deserve to have that experience as well.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what really makes me mad about this type of news is the fact that it's news. Like, I wish it was so normal.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? That it doesn't even hit anyone's
I
radar.
wish it
It's
was the
just-
norm.
Yeah. Like, and it just makes me mad
Yeah.
that it not makes me mad that we're celebrating it. It just makes me mad that it's something that we celebrate because it's not the norm. If that makes sense.
Right.
Because like I don't think of anything that way. Like when someone introduces themselves as something not normal, it doesn't faze me because I'm like, oh cool,
Yeah.
you're a person.
Yeah.
Like you and me, vendors say, oh yeah, cool, awesome.
Yeah. I like to identify as human.
And so it just I love seeing this, and I can't wait till it becomes not in the news because it's so normal.
Yeah. CD Projekt Red art director Kasia Redusiak said in an interview with Polygon that the ad is actually meant to be dystopian satire.
That's a
And the-
different thing.
The company's goal. What?
There was a bit of a controversy about an ad that was controversial. in the
Right.
game. That's different than what we're talking about now.
Yes.
It's not
Tip
not
top
related.
news, folks.
Yeah.
There was a controversy about a controversial thing.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's great what they're trying to do, and I think
Yeah.
more games should do that. I don't think it's really going to change much in the community, though. Like,
What do you
or
mean?
maybe it will. I don't know.
What, that they're represented?
I mean, if my character could identify as a mailbox, that would be nice.
Well,
I
I
don't-
mean, I'm sure there's a mod on Fallout 4.
You just
I
like
mean-
put your little flag up.
After all, I see you're aroused.
So one of the things that I was really interested in during the Microsoft press conference was actually the flight simulator announcement.
VR.
Yeah.
It was really cool. The graphics were so amazing that I thought we were looking at some kind of like Google Earth situation. I felt like we were looking at actual representations of Earth, but it was flight simulator.
Yeah. I was quite taken back by the Microsoft Flight Simulator. I the first thing that popped into my mind was how great would this be on VR?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That feeling that you guys got right there, that like, whoa, this has to be Google Earth or real, right? That feeling was the same feeling that someone once thought when they saw Atari for the first time.
Nobody thought that about
I'm right
Atari.
there.
And that is the essence of Gamestack podcast.
Nobody thought that about the Atari. Oh
Guys,
yes,
I'm having tank-
this square is the most realistic character I've ever seen. I'm going to navigate this square through these other squares.
But you know what? You know what? Atari is probably the most robust console ever devised by the human race. You can still plug it in after 60 years and it'll just fire right up.
Look,
No problems.
I'm going to have to disagree with that, Shaline, because you remember when we used to play games, we're like, man, these graphics are so good. And now you go back, you're like, whoa, these are
Yeah,
not.
and I do agree with that. But
You had
I
no-
don't remember playing Atari and being like, wow, this is so realistic.
Yeah, because at that
But you were
time,
also
everything-
you were also
No,
you were also never from the early 1900s. You know, or somebody having
But like
never seen a
Atari
video
was
game.
my first video game experience. You know, it's
But you had
And-
color TV at that point.
it was yeah, we did have a color TV.
Vendor, we're losing this battle.
Mm-hmm. Move on to the next thing.
Retreat.
Guys.
Abort mission. Run.
Okay. So let's talk about E3, guys. Let's why don't you roll us through GameStock, Vendertron, and then let's do some E3 discussion.
Yeah, absolutely. No bumper. Okay, great.
Oh, bumper.
Just gonna-
I forgot the
just gonna
bumper.
roll.
I have the bumper. Vender! What does the stock market look like this week?
Okay, guys, I really wanted to share with you the stock prices from the last episode of GameStack podcast that we had talked about, which you all know was before E3. And we also want to share with you an update on what the stock price is as of today. So, Sony, as you all know, never attended E3, never announced a new console or amazing new games because they weren't at E3. Pre E3, their stock price was at $48.86. Post E3, they posted a stock price of $53.41.
Oh my gosh. I need to sell my Sony stocks. I can make my money back. I
So
need to
they're
get out now.
Their stock price actually went up, but that's not to be don't be misleaded. I think that the market overall is doing pretty well. Microsoft before E3 sold at $131.50 and now is selling at $137.13. So up $6, about $6. Nintendo's closed at $45.34 on our last episode of GameStack. It actually dropped about $1, almost $1. And they closed at $44.55 today. So that was kind of interesting. Take-Two actually went up about $1. They closed at $111.65 on our last episode, and today they closed at $112.64. Activision up only about 30 cents. They were at $45.38 and are now selling at $45.74 as of today. Ubisoft kind of went down quite a bit, guys, by about $7. They were trading at $82.79 before E3 and closed at $75.45 today. EA is also down about $3. closing at 97.40 before E3 and closing today at 94.20. But I just want to mention, after E3, there is always a lot of hype. And I just want to talk about a few companies that I think are worth investing as per Yahoo Finance. And there's a wonderful podcast that you guys could listen to called Zach's Market Edge podcast. And they actually talked about the gaming industry overall this week post E3, and just wanted to point out that Microsoft actually is the king of cool in gaming, as they call it. As for announcing their new Xbox console, as well as the Project X Cloud, which would allow you to stream games from your Xbox to your phone. And that's supposed to start in October of 2019. The Games Pass plan, the new revised Games Pass plan, kind of makes them a little bit of an industry leader in the gaming stock market. Rick, you're going to say anything? No?
No, I've got nothing to say on
Okay.
the stocks.
Sony didn't actually attend E3, as we all know, and they are planning to roll out its latest PlayStation in early 2020. It already has a game streaming with 750 games, which is about $19.99 a month or $99 per year. But Sony is really more meant to be appealing to casual gamers as opposed to hardcore gamers. So we don't really know where they're standing right now within the market, but they are still a good investment. Alphabet Google has kind of taken the stage with their announcement of Stadia just prior to E3. And I think we talked about that on the previous episode of Gamestack podcast, which you can find for a subscription of $10 a month. That'll launch late November 2019 and will host about 28 games. So they might be a potential investment opportunity. Surprisingly, on this list, GameStop was one of the top 5 companies to invest in for video gaming innovation. So I'm not, yeah. Even though the shares have sunk 62% over the last year and 85% over the last 5 years, this article believes that they are one of the top 5 companies to think about investing in. I don't know how I feel about that. Funko also is one of the gaming companies that might be of interest for people to invest in as well.
Well, maybe Funko is connected to the GameStop.
It's possible.
Because they sell a lot of Funkos at GameStop.
Funko is just they have found a niche within the industry. They can make a Funko of every different game and people will buy it, and that's all that matters. And they will make money, and their investors and their board of governors will be happy. So anyways, that's GameStop for the bye week.
Why are we on fire?
Oh, well, we had a little bit of trash fire happening. Sorry, I'll get that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the stock market is kind of on fire. It's hot.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. We got the fire extinguisher. We're good. We're good. Is that all we have for GameStop?
That is all we have for GameStop, Shaline.
Thank you, vendor. I thought it might be nice to just chat a little bit about E3 and just talk about what it was like to go and what were some of our favorite things that were shown. Did any of your dreams come true? Did you have any heart-wrenching disappointments? Do you have any E3 thoughts?
I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of the conferences. Microsoft is doing a lot of cool things. I'm excited to see Scarlet. My family may or may not have bought into the whole Xbox Pass Gold thing.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, without getting into a lot of detail here, but we ended up with an Xbox One S just recently.
Oh, really?
And, yes, and it prompted us to go, let's take a look at the Xbox Gold. So I think right now, for the next couple days, you can actually get Game Pass for $1.
Mm-hmm.
For how long?
I think it's like a year. I mean,
what?
You sign up for $1. And then it's $14.99 after that. But
yeah, it's only $1 for the first month.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
I
if you
see.
sign up for auto renewal, the first month is free.
It's like
Oh,
that scene
nice.
in Gone with the Wind. We're gonna give you 40 acres and a mule. And a mule?
And a mule. Um, so so yeah, that's another experience. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. I kind of wanted to sit down and play some more console games because I haven't finished
Mm.
a lot of them.
Mhm.
Last of Us, haven't finished it. Haven't finished the dinosaur robot game. Why can't I think of the Horizon? Haven't finished that. I haven't killed the last harpy in God of War.
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie? No, harpy.
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie. Harpy is the thing you fight though. But Valkyrie,
Not
yes.
in this one.
No? Okay, I'm wrong. Haven't finished Red Dead Redemption 2. And then Xbox One S and Game Pass, and it's like,
Mhm.
now I'll have no time to do anything. But yeah, so that's cool. I like what they're doing with the Scarlet. I think that's going to be really interesting. Really curious to see how this round of streaming services plays out between Google and Xbox and whoever else is trying to jump in on it. Didn't see any games really from Xbox that really piqued my interest. Forza's little like Lego racer DLC thing was kind of strange, and it made a lot of us just go, "Why not make a new Lego racer game?"
That was such a surprise. That was such a surprise.
Weird.
They opened that door and there was the car, and I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna reveal another like Maserati or whatever. And then it was made out of
It
Legos.
was all Lego.
Yeah, it was all Lego.
I loved it. It was amazing.
BE3 was good. I'm looking forward to a lot of games there. Obviously, the Wastelanders expansion, Wolfenstein. I'm looking forward to Deathloop and Ghostwire, of course. You know, I've been a known hater kind of Ghost Recon Wildlands, and I didn't even pay attention to Breakpoint. But a friend of mine was like, hey, dude, he's a big proponent of Wildlands. And he's like, dude, hey, did you check out Breakpoint? And I was like, there's no reason for me to even look at Breakpoint after the disaster that was Wildlands. And he goes, they directly addressed the counter-snipey AI on stage. Like, this won't be in it this time. And I said, you play it and tell me how it is, and maybe. But John Bernthal will be in the game.
Oh, he looks amazing too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so he's going to be in it.
I got to take a photo at E3 with some dreamy Ghost Recon cosplayers. That was fun.
It was me.
Were those the ones that were like, we love podcasts?
Yes, yeah. They were like, hey, I listen to podcasts all the time on my drive to work. And I was like, listen to Gamestack. I gave him postcards.
Oh, that's great.
They
Did
were
you
really
sign
nice
them?
guys. So,
I hope
no,
you signed
I did
them.
not sign them.
But
But if you're listening, guys, it was lovely meeting you at E3.
yeah. That's
I'm
cool.
looking forward to the Final Fantasy VII remake. Going through the cross-dressing sequence in like that weird top-down 8-bit, not 8-bit, like 16-bit, when you're not quite sure what's going on, but you know it's something sexual. I'm really curious to see how it's going to look in high def. They came out with an article saying we are leaving the cross-dressing scene, and a lot of us were like, good. We were really curious what went on, that whole thing.
We're
Like,
a little worried.
If you played Final Fantasy VII and you went to like the honeybee thing, and it was just this, I remember being a kid and playing this section and being like, this is the most surreal thing. I mean, there were like, it's so hard to explain. There was like a gym where all the dudes were buff and kind of, and being as a kid, gay was not in our vocabulary. Well, at least it wasn't in mine. And there were
Mhm.
just a lot of buff dudes who were like acting real weird. And I was like, this is so weird. As a kid, like 11-year-old playing this game. So I'm really curious to see how they do this whole weird sexual thing in high def. It's gonna be really funny. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that. I think that's it. I don't think there was really much else that kind of made me excited. Oh, Jedi Fallen Order. Really excited for Jedi Fallen Order.
Jedi Fallen Order looks so good, doesn't it?
It does.
I heard a lot of people complaining about that trailer that was shown on the EA stream, saying that it looked like, Nathan Drake in space. And I was like, yes, Nathan Drake in space!
Really excited for Outer Worlds, actually, as well. That's going to
Yes.
be an insta-purchase, probably.
Yeah, that would
Actually,
be-
Rick, you won't have to purchase the Outer Worlds because it's a
Right.
day one release on Game Pass. I'm pretty stoked for that.
I mean,
Guys, you guys, the Outer Worlds. I got to see a behind closed doors demo of the Outer Worlds. You can see my plushie back here next to Dog Meat from
So
the
jelly.
Outer Worlds. I got to meet some people from Obsidian. That was very cool. I gave them business cards as well. Listen to Gamestack. I told them.
hi, nice to meet you. Listen to Gamestack.
And the Outer Worlds, guys. It was a gameplay demo. It 100% looks like Fallout New Vegas. It's going to be so familiar if you have played Fallout New Vegas. I was really taken aback by just how much this looks like Fallout New Vegas in space. I'm very much looking forward to the Outer Worlds.
So you're saying it looks like Fallout New Vegas?
It does. It looks a bit like Fallout New Vegas.
Well, if you watch
space.
some of the demo, the mechanics, the character mechanics look very similar.
Yes.
Even some of the facial movements and things like that is a very Fallout New Vegas feel.
Remarkably similar. So
We're gonna miss like Doc Mitchell's voice though. I mean,
Yeah.
and also Stephen Russell won't be in there, so that'll be a
Oh.
well, we don't know that. Maybe they'll hire some
we
of the
don't actually know
Bethesda
that.
6
I wonder
voice
who will
actors.
some of the voice actors be.
I
Won't
mean,
be
they're
us, that's for
free
sure.
agents. Bethesda doesn't own them. They're not chained in
Lord-
the basement.
Lord
So.
willing, we'll have some Nathan Fillion in there.
Yeah.
I just want Nathan Fillion. So like I'm getting my space western, but now I'm like, okay, I'm getting my space western, but I need to have Nathan Fillion in it now. So just having a space western isn't good enough.
Vendor, what were you excited about from E3?
Well, I was also excited about Outer Worlds, and I did a lot of reading up about different articles on the game itself, and I learned that it may not necessarily be the full open world feature that we came to love and know in Fallout New Vegas. So I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic about Outer Worlds. I think it's still going to be a great game. I don't really know much about the storyline.
The thing that I see in Outer Worlds is that it is going to be a role-playing game. And that's something that we
Definitely.
haven't really had in years.
Yeah.
I feel like it's been a long time since we had a good, first-person RPG. I can't remember the last one that I played. The last Great Western style RPG that I played.
Right. Yeah.
And the Outer Worlds is going to have its different outcomes depending on how you build your character. You can build I know, right?
No, dude, wait, just a second. For people who can't see what just happened, Vendor has had this entire time this like beautiful margarita with a salted rim and like a lemon in it, and he empties the thing and then like moves his hand off screen and comes back with a full one. Is there like just some like shiny like
I have a
island
bartender.
person that is like making you drinks
right here.
off screen?
It's
Because that was like, I was like, I literally thought in my head it'd be hilarious if he just had a full one in his hand. And what he just
Well, I mean, the show is so long. You got to make two.
well, I to be fair, I did have.
Right? Okay. There we go.
But
so, you know
it
what?
was coffee, not like a beautifully concocted mixed drink in a set up glass.
Do you know me at all?
I know, but it was still, you still amaze me, Vendor. As long as I'm saying, our relationship
You're
is so young
breathtaking.
and
Expect the unexpected, you
Exactly.
guys.
Vendor.
I'm also excited about the Sega Genesis Mini.
Oh,
I think I am really Sega Genesis is my childhood, you guys. It's the only console that I had growing up, and I'm really excited. I'm totally gonna buy it. The controller is the same. It's actually even the same size as the original. So I think that's really cool. And the mini that they show is actually pretty much identical to what I remember having as a child. So I'm really excited about that. Probably gonna buy it. Cyberpunk, I'm super pumped about Cyberpunk. Have you guys listened to the soundtrack yet?
No.
I think the soundtrack is now available on Spotify to listen to.
is it just Kavinsky in the midnight?
Yeah.
Might as well be.
just a bunch of synthwave, which I'm not complaining about.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
Cyberpunk looks amazing. It looks
it
so
does.
good.
Yeah, it looks so good.
I am very, very excited for Cyberpunk, and that's another game that is absolutely a role-playing game. It will differ
Mhm.
depending on your choices and how you build your character, and you can approach every situation in a million different ways. And
Yeah.
in the behind closed doors demo that I saw, they kept cutting back and forth between like a brawling fisticuffs character and a tech-savvy hacker-style character, and showing how the same area could be completely different, run by these two different play styles.
Yeah.
And something that I found like super disturbing was that the hacker character could actually hack the enemies. Like he could hack their brains and make them commit suicide, which was horrifying. And I was very excited to learn that you can do a non-lethal playthrough of Cyberpunk. So, you know,
Like
you guys know
completely?
me. I love to do
Yeah.
the pacifist playthroughs. I love
You can
that.
do the entire storyline without killing anyone.
Mhm.
So
Well, now.
It looks
I know,
amazing.
right?
It looks amazing.
I'm also really excited about Shinji Mikami's Ghostwire Tokyo.
Yes.
I think is probably the game of E3 for me. That I don't know what it was about that game, but it totally just blew my mind.
Didn't
I'm
even see
so
any
excited to
gameplay.
play it. I
Right
didn't
now.
even see any gameplay, but I don't know. It just I have this fascination with Japan, and this whole post-apocalyptic, everybody's gone sort of thing. I've always wanted a game where
Just hate
people
humans.
just vanish, and nobody knows why. And so this really piqued my interest. What was that? It's a terrible movie. Sandra Bullock's in it. Boy, girl, girl, boy.
Left
Bird
behind.
Box.
Yeah,
Bird
Bird
Box.
Box.
Terrible movie. But I like the storyline and how everybody just kind of like goes a little bit crazy and disappears. But yeah, so Ghostwire, I'm super excited about that. What else am I excited about? Borderlands looked pretty good. I'm not a Borderlands fan, but I think the game looked pretty good.
Borderlands is very fun. I got to play Borderlands, and it was
Nice.
very, very fun. And I'm not a Borderlands fan really either. I don't really see jumping on this day one, but like if you guys decide like, hey, let's play Borderlands, I
I'll
would
have it.
totally jump in with you guys. I
Yeah.
would, yeah.
Me-
I played
me and my
it
wife played a bunch
once.
of them.
Yeah.
I
what other
love
games?
their like loot, shoot, schloot.
It was very fun. I was impressed with the world exploration. I feel like it was a much more detailed world than is present in Borderlands 2.
Right.
So it was cool.
I'm also really excited about Sims Island Living. That was probably, I think, the best thing to come out of E3 this year. And I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be really good. It's already available, I think.
You
I
can be a
haven't checked.
mermaid, right?
Yeah, you can be a mermaid and you can swim with the dolphins. And, you know, I'm already living on an island, so just saying. I wish I was living on an island.
On the sunny island of Canada.
Steel drums. Doodle-doodle, doodle. Yeah, that's not how steel drums sound.
at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I wish that I had more to say about E3, but I think in comparison to last year, I think we're in for some really good games coming this year and next year. Yeah.
Something that I think is really great about this year's E3 is that we're at the end of this console generation. You know, we've only got another year or so out of this console generation, and I feel like the developers really know what they're doing with this hardware now, and they're
Yeah.
making the most out of every teraflop. And I really feel like the games are going to be amazing.
No, you can't. Oh, I'm also excited about Farm Sim. I know it's already out, but I want to play it. I'm probably gonna buy it. So yeah.
I love your streams when you're just doing like farm sim
Oh, it's
stuff.
so
Yeah,
fun.
man.
So
I don't
Let's
know
go
why.
Let's go
Why?
logging. You
I'm
guys
so
want to go
glad that the
logging
vendor
later?
Streams are back. aside from what we've already talked about, I'm looking forward to Dying Light 2. I'm actually kind of wanting to play the first Dying Light now. Dying Light 2 looks really cool. It's written by Chris Avellone, which I'm very excited about. He's an amazing writer. He did writing for Fallout New Vegas as well. I'm very, very much looking forward to Dying Light 2. I got to see a demo of that, and it can go absolutely differently depending on the choices you make. And
Yeah.
the gameplay is very smooth. The weapon durability was a little ridiculous. Your weapons break very soon. Like you have like 5 hits before your weapon breaks. So you're not really meant to, I guess, do that much combat as much as some other things. But it has stealth. It looks very compelling. And that was really cool. Let's see. Wolfenstein Youngblood, did we talk about that? Looks
We
really,
didn't, but
touched
I'm
on
also excited about it. Yeah.
looks really, really good. I'm looking forward to that. I think we should all play it together.
I think we should. Yeah.
There was a game on screen at the PC showcase called Mosaic. That is a little indie game that I've been interested in for quite a while. It looks like sort of a very atmospheric storytelling experience. I'm definitely wanting to check that out. And they launched Blip Blop, which was sort of a game from the game. And it's just a clicker. You just click the button and earn blops. And I played like 20 minutes of Blip Blop yesterday. Because my brain was fried from work, and I just played Blip Blop, and it was terrible. Don't play Blip Blop. Don't be like me. Watch Dogs Legion looks really good, too. I find the concept of being able to recruit and play as any NPC in the game, I find that very compelling, and I was very doubtful at first, but after I saw the lengthy behind closed doors demo of Watch Dogs, they convinced me that they've actually done this. You know, they've actually given each of these characters a voice and a personality and a backstory, and they will interact with one another in different ways, and there are systems in place so that if you are playing as one character and you've done something to hurt another character, they're going to remember that, and it will affect how they treat you in the future. And I think Watch Dogs Legion looks actually very, very cool.
Can you name those characters that you recruit and stuff?
They already have names.
I was gonna say you should like name one Pepperidge Farms, so like when you do something that
Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, they already have names. They are characters.
Well
then. 12 Minutes was an indie game that was revealed on the Xbox stage that I think looks really interesting. It's sort of a time loop kind of situation with a husband and wife in a bad situation, and I'm really interested in seeing how that game plays out. Let's see, what else? Breath of the Wild sequel? I freaked out when I saw that, the Breath of the Wild sequel trailer. You guys know me. I lost my mind a little bit when I saw that. One of my E3 predictions was that we would get a Majora's Mask style Breath of the Wild sequel in the same engine, and it looks like that's coming true, so I'm very excited. Zelda has cut her hair. It's fabulous. I'm hoping for playable Zelda at some point. I think that would be super fun. I loved Breath of the Wild.
So just as an aside, what did you think of all of the video game merch that I sent pictures of yesterday when I was antiquing?
Yeah.
So just a backstory for our listeners. I went antiquing yesterday, and they have this whole like video game paraphernalia section, and I was sending all these snapshots and pics to Shaline and Rick, and they had this one. It was a Zelda Gold Edition.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was Ocarina of Time, a Nintendo 64 Ocarina of Time card.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was $169.
Yep.
Do you think that it's worth that much money? Okay, $169 Canadian is like 1,000 American. So, Actually, no, it's the other way
It's the
around.
other way
It's
around.
like
That was like
$12,
$12
American.
Uh,
But
Ocarina of Time was really, 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 really good, but I don't know if it's worth like $160.
oh
That's
gosh,
just for the
I
gold
just
edition, though.
you know what? Being in that place and just seeing all of those old games and it just brought me back. I loved it so much. Zelda is such a good game though. I have only ever confession. I have only ever played Zelda on Nintendo 64.
Yeah,
That's
Ocarina of Time is the only
Yeah.
one, or did you play Majora as well?
Mm, no, only Ocarina of Time.
It's the only one you need to play.
Okanara of
The
Time.
Ocarina of Time.
What was the Sea of Thieves episode?
Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves, the Okanera.
You got my
Time.
you got my merds all mixed up.
You guys are the best. It was really fun going to E3, though. I'm just going to talk about that a little bit before we wrap up this segment. I had a great experience at E3. I felt like something that I talked about before I left was that the previous year, it was super awkward for me, and like nobody would say hello. Like I would try and strike up a conversation and nobody wanted to talk to me. And that went better this year, so I don't know if the people were like friendlier or if I was more confident in trying to talk to them or what, but
So
I had
how
an
so
easier
though?
time making
How
friends
so?
in lines. Well, just people were more willing to talk to me this year than the previous year. That's
I'm willing to bet that
yeah.
it had something to do with the Tunnel Snakes jacket.
maybe it
Just
was
saying.
Adam Cat's jacket.
Adam
Or-
Cat's jacket, yeah.
Or the press pass hanging around your neck.
Could be that as well.
Media,
Could
you
be that as
know,
well.
Baller.
That was a pretty cool thing that that E3 took a look at our stuff and decided we were press. That was cool.
Yeah, I think that that's really great. We are very excited to get an invite next year.
It was a lot of work, but we'll do it again, and we're all
Mhm.
going. It's going to be amazing.
You heard it here first, folks. This show is actually press.
Don't press your luck.
You said it, not me.
Something
That
I
was-
do want to do next year is take like Game of the Show awards. All of the big media outlets take like little printed out Game of Show, like IGN Game of Show awards, and they stick them on the booth of the game that's their Game of the Show. And I think we should take
Oh.
Gamestack Game of the Show awards.
We should definitely invest in stickers to do that. Yes.
I think it would be so fabulous if we did that. I would love that.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed the Indiecade section of the E3 show floor because that was a place that was not very jam-packed with people, and some of those games were really compelling, and it was a place where you got to sit down with the game's creator, in some cases the game's only creator, you know, a single person team working on the game,
Yeah.
and talk with them about their game, play it with them, tell them what you like about it. That was a really cool experience, and I am absolutely looking forward to sharing some of the interviews that I recorded with some of those indie developers. It was a really neat experience.
I don't know if we ever asked you, but did you ever run into any listeners or anybody
I did
from
not
the
run into
online
any
community?
listeners, No,
Mm-mm.
no.
They were too
That's
nervous.
too bad.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
That was unfortunate, but
Yeah. Maybe next year.
maybe next year. It was really cool going to E3. There's they go all out, man. They spend a lot of money on this event. When I went to the Cyberpunk demo, it was like spread across 3 meeting rooms, and the first room was styled up like a Cyberpunk bar, and like it was open bar, and you could get a drink, and like I was like, I'll have a Diet Coke, and
I'll just have water.
so yeah, I drank my Diet Coke, and then it was time to go into the demo room, like into the theater, and I fell up the stairs. That was a bummer. That was really embarrassing. I can never show my face again among the game's journalists. The Dying Light also had like a bar in the entryway before you go
The
into
best-
Dying Light. And they gave out these massive statues of the Dying Light protagonist, like huge statues. I had to carry that, like, it's a cool statue. Thank you for the statue, Techland. But, like, I had to carry this thing around all day, like, all over Los Angeles.
Yeah.
It was very,
We
I
never
felt
really
very
touched
dumb.
base with you,
Yeah.
Shaline. Did you end up getting all of your stuff home, or did you have to
I did.
ship some of it?
I purchased a duffel bag from the Alienware booth and checked
Oh,
it.
that's good.
I stuffed
Oh,
all my
that's good.
swag into it and checked it. I think you can see in the background, I just have piles of like garbage from E3 back there that I haven't put away yet because my house is small and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. There's posters and like a Borderlands mask and like it's crazy. Cyberpunk gave out these cool jackets that look like something from the game. That was
Yeah.
really cool. I love my Cyberpunk jacket.
Yeah.
Yahtzee was like, he got the Cyberpunk jacket, and he's like, great, a jacket in LA
Yeah.
in June.
To be fair, though, there was a day that I did have to wear like my Adam Katz jacket because it was cold. It was a foggy, cold day in Los Angeles. So
I would like to point out, actually, for anybody, CD Projekt Red actually put out a press release saying that people were selling the Cyberpunk jackets on eBay for $400, $500. And they just want to point out that, don't buy these jackets on eBay because you will be able to get them when the game releases for a lot cheaper. And so I think that was pretty stand-up of them to put out that press release. But yeah, I just wanted to mention that as well. I saw that in the news and thought it was kind of worth mentioning. But
it was really neat getting to speak with the people that make the games that we love to play and tell them to listen to Gamestack. That was really fun. It was really, really cool. It was a neat experience being there. And I can't wait to share that with you guys. If they have it in Los Angeles again, I have all the secret knowledge now. I know where the secret tunnels are. I can get us in without waiting through a long line. Yeah.
You're like Tyrion in King's Landing.
Yeah, there's like a side door that no one uses. I never had to wait in a line, and you would see on the every day you would see all of this massive line of people waiting to get into E3 show floor, and there was this side door that you could just go in. Just
nice.
If there's one thing the things that I hate in life are lineups, traffic, and commercials. And if I could go to E3 and not have to wait in a line, I mean, that would just be.
And there's such a packed room of people. There's so many people, but if you just go upstairs, you can walk through the upstairs with almost no people. You can just like sprint through the upstairs, like unhindered. There's no bumping into other people. So even if you have, I would have something on the West Hall and have to get to the South Hall, I would just go upstairs and then I'd have an easy path to get there without many delays. So.
Now, on the previous episode of that Fallout show, we talked about the Bethesda coverage. And during E3 week, we had a series of mini-sodes where we talked about your experiences for the day.
Yes, those are available on Twitch and YouTube.
Yes, and those will be coming to audio very shortly. We have to get those uploaded. But one question that I never actually posed to you, Shaline, was what were some of the displays and the dioramas and the booths like Nintendo? What was that like? Bethesda, Ubisoft, Microsoft, did they have these crazy setups?
They did, actually. And something that was really fun at E3 was that they had dioramas set up where you could have your photo taken with cosplayers or with statues or some different things. Like Ubisoft had those Ghost Recon guys that were super nice. And that I only went over there because there was no one there. My whole goal at E3 was not to stand in any lines. So I thought I'm going to get to play all these games eventually anyway. I'm not going to waste 3 hours of my day standing in a line to play the Link's Awakening demo. Because that's what the Nintendo experience was. It was a 3-hour line. Nintendo had big red walls, and there was just a line of people snaking around those walls. And then back behind a curtain, there was an additional line of people waiting to play these Nintendo games. It was ridiculous. And Ubisoft had, the fun Ghost Recon guys to take a photo with. And then I was walking by and some guy at Ubisoft was like, hey, do you want to take a picture with this mannequin? And it was like a mannequin dressed like the guards at the Queen's Palace in London, with the furry hat and the red jacket.
I love that.
And And I was like, oh yeah, I'll take a picture with the mannequin. And I'm like with the mannequin like this. And then as soon as the guy snaps the picture, the mannequin like snaps his rifle to the side and looks at me. And I'm like, ah!
Scares the crap out of you.
Yeah, it was not a mannequin. It was a real man.
So I would have seen that coming a mile away.
It was a real, well, I'm gullible. So it was a real man and it scared me very much. And they laughed at me.
As they should.
Yes, as they should.
Yeah.
The Borderlands booth had a huge setup with Borderlands figurines and they had posters everywhere. Capcom had a giant Monster Hunter dragon, and they had a little diorama with a palico, so I got my picture taken with the palico. It was really
Wonderful.
cute. Yeah.
And what about Bethesda?
Bethesda's booth was, it felt like home, going to Bethesda's booth. I kept wandering over to Bethesda's booth.
Because, say hi to Todd for us.
I just missed Matt Grandstaff, man. I saw him, and he was talking to some guy, and I was like, as soon as this guy leaves, I'm going to say hello. And then the guy left, and Matt Grandstaff turned and, ran. And I was like, I guess he's busy. I'll leave him alone.
Maybe he was hangry.
Yeah.
Was it like 11:30 or something?
The Bethesda booth was done in that black and white style, that the Bethesda launcher has, and the Bethesda website has that black and white art style.
Yeah.
They had a little booth for Elder Scrolls Blades, which hardly anyone was at because you can play Elder Scrolls Blades on your own phone at any time. And there was a demo station for Rage, which hardly anybody was at because you can play Rage at your home. Yeah. And they had some demo stations set up for Wolfenstein Youngblood. The lines for that were hours long.
Really?
So I watched over the rope as some other people played Wolfenstein. But I did not stand in that line. They had some demo stations for Nuclear Winter. They had some demo stations set up for Doom Eternal. And Doom Eternal was the only thing that was playable at the BE3 event as well.
Yeah.
And the Bethesda booth also had a merch store. So, of course, you guys know I went to the merch store.
Right.
I bought some shirts and I bought a water bottle and some stuff. Because, of course, I did. So that was really fun, as always. And I took a picture with the Vault Boy, also fun, as always. So that was cool. It wasn't as extravagant as some of the other booths, probably because they spend so much money putting on BE3. BE3 has an open bar before and after the press conference.
Goodness.
And
I'll never make it out of there.
Yeah, I know. This is going to be so bad.
There were multiple bar stations, so you didn't even have to wait in the line, really. There weren't even lines.
So, no, Vendor, real quick. Are you the kind of person that when you start having a few that you kind of keep going?
Oh, there's no limit.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave you guys behind.
There's no limit. The only thing that I hope that they have at the end of the series of bar stations is a poutine bar. Or some sort of fast food
Yeah, and
thing.
after BE3, they had a series of food trucks. They had a mac and cheese truck and some sliders.
Oh.
The mac and cheese was amazing. It was mac and cheese with pulled pork.
What scares me?
Really
What
good.
scares me about LA is drinking on patios in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Because
when you pass out.
I
Drinking in
was
the sun
very,
is
very
the most
sunburned. I was
awesome.
very badly sunburned standing in the lines for the press conferences.
Shaline, you're
not
gonna
the
have to
best.
you're gonna have to drag us into the Uber.
I might just leave you guys behind.
Hey,
I don't know.
that's
Maybe
fine.
maybe we won't all share a house. Maybe you
just-
guys can share a house and I'll get a nice hotel somewhere.
You can leave Rick and I at E3 and pick us up there the next day when you come back. For we don't even have to leave, Rick. We could just sleep on the benches.
But
In the
yeah,
open
I'll
bar.
just have to bribe the bartenders to just give you guys just a soda.
Yeah. So anybody
Cut them
who's
off after 2. Just
from E3, beware.
yeah.
We will suck you dry.
But
There will
I was really
no
surprised
alcohol.
at how much booze was at this event. I really was surprised.
Yeah.
It was 10:30 a.m. and I walk in for my Dying Light 2 demo.
Mimosas!
And everybody's
That's
drinking
fine.
beer and like
That's fine.
I was a little shocked at just how prevalent the drinking culture was at E3.
Have you?
Um,
So, Shaline, have you stayed at a resort in Mexico?
No,
Or
I've only
Yeah.
been to Juarez.
Okay, so like it's like you wake up at like 9 and there's a drink in your hand, and you have a drink with breakfast, then you have drinks, and then you have drinks with lunch, then you have drinks between lunch and dinner, and it's just like
Okay, maybe
by
that's
6
what your Mexico resort experience
They're, like,
is, but I
taking
don't think
you
that's
away,
exactly what it
stretching.
would be for me.
Well, I mean, that's yeah.
Yeah,
But
and
I just I love that. I love that feel.
Yeah.
I love that vacation feel that you can go to a conference
You love
and
the
there's
feel
an
of
open
morning drinking.
bar. I mean, I work in the
Well-
healthcare industry. There's never been a conference that I've gone to where there's been an open bar ever in my
Mhm.
life. And
well,
so
I went to precisely 7 places in Los Angeles that had an open bar, and I skipped 2 places that had an open bar. So in 6 days, that was what, 9 open bar opportunities?
Mhm. I'm super excited. I'm super
Yeah, it
excited
was
next year to
crazy.
go,
It was
and
crazy.
I think I'm also really excited about the food that they give out as well. The food that they have available. It sounded like you had some really great meals.
Not really. I wouldn't
Oh.
necessarily say that. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I
Uh.
ate probably 4 or 5 meals for the entire 6 days that I was there. Otherwise, I lived on like protein bars, basically, and some almonds. I had taken some almonds in little baggies, and I had like they provide free lunch for the press in the press room, and they just wheel out this wheeled table full of boxes of lunch, right? And then all the journalists like swarm this table of lunch, like
Right. Like
like
locusts.
elbows, throwing elbows, and it's like
Elbows.
Black Friday as the journalists go for these lunches. And the first day, it was like an Italian sandwich on ciabatta bread, and the meat was like very fatty. It was like very gross. So like I just ate like the chips and the apple. And that was the first meal I had since the burger that Ubisoft had the day before. Like,
Oh my.
when I went to the Ubisoft event, they had food trucks, and I had a delicious
Guys.
burger.
When we get an Airbnb, I'm gonna like
Mhm.
cook all of the things. You guys are gonna eat like kings. It's gonna be great.
And then the second day
believe
that I had free press lunch, it was like a hummus burrito with veggies, and that was actually pretty delicious. It was actually really
Hummus
good.
burrito.
I love hummus.
Yeah, it was like a little tortilla with hummus and veggies. So
Mhm.
it was pretty good. So,
Well, that's
but
not
yeah,
bad.
there's not many opportunities to eat because you're so busy at E3.
Right.
So busy. So it was
Wow.
totally fun though. I think I lost like 10 pounds while I was there between the walking and the
It
and
was
the
probably so hot
one
there.
meal a
You just
day.
like sweated out all of that water weight, you know?
Gosh, I got so sunburned, especially in the Microsoft line for the Microsoft press conference. Oh my
Oh.
lord.
Yeah.
So burned. Like it was actually hotter in New Mexico than it was in Los Angeles, but the sun in Los Angeles is like trying to kill you. Like it's a different kind of sun.
I
It's-
totally know what you're talking about.
Angry Sun in Mario.
I don't
Yeah,
know if
agree.
they have like a bigger hole in their ozone there than we have,
No.
or what's
No.
happening.
It's just really hot.
Because the temperature was higher in New Mexico. It was about 10 degrees cooler in Los Angeles than it was in
Yeah.
Albuquerque.
Yeah, when
But
I
the sun there was just horrible.
when I went to Palm Springs for the Indian Wells tennis tournament in March, it was the same kind of thing. It was just blistering heat, and
Yeah.
it's like if you don't put SPF 70 on, you
Mm.
know, or you don't live in the area, you know,
Yeah.
you're not going to make it out of there alive.
My
You-
scalp got sunburned, you guys.
Yeah.
Like where my hairline parts, there was a sunburn. And when I was carrying a messenger bag around with my postcards and my recorder and stuff, and it hurt so bad settling that on my shoulder where it was sunburned. And
right.
of course, the day I was in the Microsoft line, I had the open-necked dress, so
Yeah. Oh, well, I loved your
It's
outfits.
terrible.
They were very cute.
Thank
You
you.
had
They
you had
look
many of
fabulous.
them. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know how you fit all of the things that you got from E3 back because you had so many outfits that you brought
Yeah,
with you.
yeah. Well, on the way back, I was able to stuff the outfits in a smaller space because I wasn't worried about wrinkles. So
Right, yeah.
But I did have to purchase a duffel bag at the Alienware booth for
Yeah.
an outrageous price to be able to get all of this E3 garbage home. So, do you guys have any other questions about what it was like at E3 or anything like that, or ready to move on?
I think one of my questions would be, what would you do differently next year?
Sunscreen. I would wear sunscreen.
Bring us.
Yeah.
Of course I would bring you guys. I wish you would have been there this year. I can't imagine how much more fun it would have been with you guys there.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. I'm so
A lot
excited.
of the events that I went to, like, they were cool, but it was awkward being the only one that I knew. You know what I mean? Not knowing people there. It's not
Right.
fun to go, like, to a party where you don't know anybody. You know, it's not fun. And I did find myself leaving earlier from some events than I probably would have if you guys had been there as well. Something that I did find was very successful was scheduling appointments ahead of time. That's something we're doing next year. I want to minimize the time we spend standing in lines. And the best
think that's a great
experiences I had at
idea.
E3 was when I got to just show up, see the game, and leave. That was wonderful. So that press pass makes a big old difference, let me tell you what.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about something that happened. I went to this Black Desert Online event, and I just went because it sounded like a fun party. I don't play Black Desert Online. But when I walked in the door of this event, the guy at the door was like, "Shaline, are you press?" Because I had like my little press badge, and I was like, "I have a podcast." And he grabs like a special bag of stuff with like this giant mouse pad and like all this stuff because he thought I was press.
That's awesome.
So
No, we
because
are
you
press.
were press. Yes. Because you were press.
it was really funny though. It was really funny. But yeah, sunscreen is something I'd do differently. They have lockers available in the press room, so I will probably rent a locker the first day.
Oh, I thought you said walkers.
Lockers.
Like you
Yeah.
know, like
That would have been useful to be able to store like the bags of stuff instead of having to carry them around all day. Carrying that Dying Light figurine was ridiculous. You guys would have laughed at me. I looked like a bag lady. It was terrible. And I would
so worth it.
probably something else that I would do different is, I don't know, I guess that's about it. I feel like I had a pretty successful E3.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we've definitely have covered E3 quite well this year. I think better than any other year that we have talked about E3.
I am so looking forward to publishing those interviews that I did with developers. I'm not a great interviewer, guys. You know this about me. But it was wonderful getting these people, just letting them talk, just saying like, tell me about your game. And having these people that are passionate about their project just talk about it. That was a joy.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys have any gameplay you want to talk about?
Nope. I got
Well, I have a little bit, but I mean, it's not really worth mentioning. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah, I just been too busy this week to really play
Yeah.
anything worth merit.
I haven't played anything either. We did get a letter though in the mail. Should I read the letter?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Read it.
Dear TFS/Gamestack, I have been listening to you guys for a couple of months now and have enjoyed it immensely. I primarily listen to the podcasts while driving my hour commute between work and home, or while I am at work and do not have to be on the phones. Mainly, I am writing to say how much I appreciate you, and to share some funny things I have experienced because of the shows. Rick, I am on some of the older episodes with the mega squeaky chair. While I am driving, every so often I have to pause the show and listen to confirm that squeaking is not my brakes.
Not my
Thanks
break.
for the paranoia. Also, I'm expecting a daughter in July, and my mother and I have been working on the spare room to turn it into the nursery. So while working on purging things from my childhood, my mother asked, "Do you really need this?" I looked and exclaimed, "My Jew harp!" following a conversation about how I am definitely not a racist. I did keep it. How else will I start a band after the apocalypse? Shaline. Not sure if you had played Stardew Valley yet, but you gotta! It is totally up your alley. On the southern edge of the forest near Leah's cottage, there is a cat which provides various hats for every achievement you earn. What could be more Shaline than that? Nothing.
Yeah,
That is the most Shaline mechanic that has ever been in any game ever.
Right? Yeah.
Vendertron, you mentioned once that video game music is specifically composed to promote concentration. I had no idea and decided to test it. So I pulled up the soundtrack for Witcher 3 on Spotify when I was working on a particularly difficult service request. It totally worked, and I did not want to set my computer on fire when I was done. Hashtag progress. Anyway, you guys are awesome. I really look forward to all future episodes. By the way, here are the 5 games which define me as a gamer. 1. Fallout 3, Apocalypse. 2. Oblivion, Fantasy. 3. Portal 2, Strategy. 4. Stardew Valley, Lists. 5. Red Jack, Revenge of the Brethren, Vintage. Thank you for your time, Kristen.
Wonderful letter. Wonderful.
Yeah, that letter was a joy. I really enjoyed reading that.
Yeah.
So.
If you guys recall, Shaline and I played Stardew Valley in the Carrie's Fun charity live stream.
Yes, along with Joseph and Jess.
Along with Joseph and Jess, we did a 24 hours charity live stream. Shaline, did you ever pick up the game after that, or?
No. I was actually I didn't want it to destroy my life, and I knew that if I got into it, that it would.
It certainly would.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great game.
So I did not return to it.
Yeah, if I understand correctly, there was a new Harvest Moon at E3.
Yes, it was terrible. It was real bad. It was not a proper Harvest Moon game. It was like a mobile cash grab. Like it was bad.
Womp womp. But it was by a different company, different developers.
Yeah, I think so.
So yeah.
It was not good. So I do not recommend Harvest Moon Mad Dash, I think it was called.
Ugh.
They could have should have called it Harvest Moon Grab Cash.
I love that letter. That's fantastic. We often get emails. It's really cool to get a letter. I think that, the next listener should definitely send us a message by Raven.
That would be great.
Perhaps stork.
Carrier pigeons.
Carrier pigeons.
Snail.
No, I love that. That's great.
But yeah. Send us a letter. We will send you stickers. And how would they send us that letter, Vendertron?
Well, you can send us a letter by
You can send that letter to P.O. Box 396, Corona, New Mexico 88318. P.O. Box 396, Corona, New Mexico 88318. That is on our Twitch description, I think, and it's on the YouTube description. You can find that on some of our social media accounts. And
yeah, if you would not like to send us a message by Raven, you can also send us a message at info@wejustlovegames.com, info@wejustlovegames.com, or you can send us a personal message on any sort of social media
And
platform.
what are some of the things that they might want to send us messages about coming up in the future? Rick?
I'm completely lost on that lead-in.
It's a pop quiz.
That Fallout show will record next week on Friday, and we have a special episode this weekend.
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
And I guess that's everything. I don't know. I think this other stuff is left over.
Yeah, I just want to point out, so on Wednesday of this week, we sent out a message on social media asking people to send in their questions that they might have about Chernobyl for Andrew Leatherbarrel, who we will be interviewing on this Sunday coming. We didn't get any responses. So if you guys have any questions, please do send us those responses. I will be sending the rest of them by tomorrow to make sure that Andrew has a chance to look at them before we go through with the interview. So make sure that, and you can send those on any social media platform, Discord, Twitter, Facebook, email. Just if you have any, just send them our way.
So I have kind of a sad aside. My favorite mobile game of all time is now no longer playable. It was called Russian Dancing Men. And it was great. It was so great. You had like a little line of Russian dancing men, and it was just a game where you had to jump or duck or whatever. It was like an infinite runner kind of, except they were Russian dancing men. And it would play like Russian dancing songs. Like it was great. But they stopped supporting it with the last iOS update, and I can no longer play Russian dancing men.
I got nothing.
I was thinking Hava, Havila, Hava, but that's actually Jewish. So
Yeah, that's not.
yeah,
Well,
never mind.
Follow us on Twitter at We Just Love Games. I'm Shaline L. Rick is Rick McVick. And Vendortron is Vendortron N. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/We Just Love Games, or join the group at facebook.com/group/We Just Love Games. You can join our Discord server. There's a link right here on Twitch, and just send us a message. We'll send you the Discord link. We record this show live at 6:30 Mountain Time on twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. We love all of our lovely Twitch followers. We are on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher Radio. Please like, subscribe, and review the show. We appreciate that very much, and we will read your 5-star review on the show if you leave one. And Vendortron, do you have a last word?
If you don't find us handsome, you should at least find us handy.